Hello everyone and welcome to a new video in our Python series. In today's video we're gonna finalize our introduction to lists, and we're gonna be talking about an important topic related to lists, which is list methods. Now, because lists are immutable, so when lists are immutable it means you can change whatever value is in the list. So these are basically the main function for the list methods. Now, not all methods are like that. Also, commonly speaking, list methods are also called functions. So be aware of that. If sometimes people use them interchangeably, but the correct way would be methods. Okay, so let's start. So we're starting with our good programming practice, one of the simple ways. And then we're starting with the date. This is the 31 to 20. And then we're starting with our title. And we're just gonna call them list methods. So let's suppose you have IDs of in a certain corporation and so on. So you have certain IDs, and they're all 4 digits, and you want to make some changes to them. You want to add to them. You want to, you just want to make certain changes to them. Okay, so let's start with the fact that maybe you want to add another value to your list. So very easily you would write IDS and then with the dot and then an append. Now, what's in the parentheses are very important because you want to keep in check what you're actually writing. Right, now why did I not assign a variable right here? Because when we append, it automatically is added to at the very end to your list, so you don't need to put a variable. It automatically changes the original variable that is assigned to the list. Okay, let's run it. Okay, so now we have our numbers. Now let's append another number. Because I want a number that is repeated to actually show this. Okay, so now we would have another number. We already appended it. So now we would have. We want to count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to count this ID. Okay, yes. Now in this case, in counting, it returns for us a value. It doesn't return a list. It doesn't return the IDs list, right? So let's assign it as a C, and let's make it here C equal. This is why we're assigning a variable to it, because it returns a number and not the original list. If it returns the original list, we do what? Okay. Let's say we want to even extend it more. So if you haven't checked out other videos, please do. I have shown ways for extending your list without list methods. So if you haven't checked them out, please do. So let's extend it with the list method, extend. Now, what's the difference between extend and append? Now, append is just a value. Extend could be another list. So you could just go with other numbers, which we are doing right here. Okay, so now we extended our list. Now, for such an exercise, we could talk. It would be actually nicer or easier to use the Python shell because you're not really assigning much variables. You're not doing it as a program. You could think about it. So it would just been easier. As you see here, when we extend and when we append, this is very important. Both of them are added to the very end of the list. Okay, so if we wanna, let's insert. If we wanna specify where we want to insert a certain, ID or value, then we use insert. We firstly start with the index. Let's say, where do we want to insert? Let's say we want to insert after the 9000. Okay, so that's gonna be the third. And let's write 7654. Now, because this is changing the original ID, so every time you're printing the ID, you're just getting a new one. And there you go, we have it after the 9800. That is if you want to specify, but in this case it's only one object, you cannot add more. Same thing with the append, it's only one object. Extend, you could just do it as a list, a very long list, and you could just extend your original list. Let's say you want to sort this list out, like, okay, now it's very messy, it's not, ordered and so on. So let's sort our list out. Now we don't add anything in the parentheses, we're just printing, and we just want to sort it out. We want to make it look neat. There you go. We had it looking very neat. So it ordered basically by numbers, which is great. Now let's actually do something that I want to mention a lot. Now there is a difference. I'm going to actually write them first and then print them both to show the difference between them. Very important to write the true with a capital T, or else it wouldn't be the Boolean expression that we're used to. It would be something else. So IDS and reverse. Now people sometimes make a mistake in this, and I would want to clarify between these two methods. So we're gonna print, so the last two lines are gonna be what we wanna aim for. Well, actually the 3 lines, because I would be able to show it more. This is the sort method. We're sorting. How are we sorting? This is the question that we wanna ask. We're sorting via ascending order. What is ascending order? You're going from the least and then you're going to the greatest. Now in the sort, which is reverse equal to true, what is happening is your reverse is equal to true. So what did you reverse? You just went 970 and then 789. You literally went from the greatest to least. So even if we did not do this sort, like assume that this is different, it's gonna sort it, but it's gonna sort it from the descending order. Okay? Now let's go to reverse. Reverse. Okay, so actually this made it not the way I wanted to do. So because it returned it to be exactly the same as the sort, which was not my intention. So let's put the reverse in a different place. Let's put it after we've inserted, and let's put it there. I want to highlight how it's gonna look like because it made it look the same. That was so not my intention. Let's run our code now. So it was after the insert. So after we've inserted this, yep. So this is our reverse, okay? I've changed positions to highlight this. What's going with our reverse? This is your list looking very unorganized, and this is the list. It just switched position. Okay, if we're looking at the sort, then reverse, it sorts it out and then reverses it, basically. It's as if it goes like this, looking very organized, but then it reverses the order. Literally. But the most important thing between these two is that this is sorting it out. Like, this is going from a certain order. When you're reversing without sorting, like you're just saying dot reverse, you're reversing the order of everything regardless of the order. Like, there's no specific order, it just jumbled. But in here, no, it's going descending from the biggest to the least. This is just something that I wanted to highlight, so no one would actually fall into this trap. Let's say we want to know the index of something from some certain value. Now in here we would need, a variable, because we're getting a number, just like when we were doing with the count. So index. Okay, so let's start with the value. value, let's go with a 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now you could do the value, you could do the start and the end depending on where you want it to search. It's as if you're telling it to search for it. If it's not existing in that part, it will give you an error, but this is why people usually leave it for the whole list. If we have even bigger list, it's gonna take much more time. It might be seconds, but it takes time. Alright, so it tells you now that it's in the 5th position. If you don't know what's indexing and all of that, please check out my last video in the introduction to lists. I'll link them. Okay, so let's say we want to remove. This is I forgot. So removing, simply you're just gonna you're gonna do a certain value. Let's remove the 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want both of them. So let's print the ID. And there you go, you remove the 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have something called pop. Now pop is actually going to remove the other 1, 2, 3, 4, but the pop in general removes the very last element, regardless of what it is, the very last value. Now if you don't have a value, it won't be able to remove it, so be aware of that. It's gonna give you an error if you don't have any elements. Right, it's remove the other 1, 2, 3, 4, and then basically we're simply just going with our very last method, which is gonna be clear, and we're gonna print our ID. There it is. So one last thing that I wanna specify: please be careful about your arguments again, because you might forget if, like in pop or clear, you don't, or even sort, you don't need an argument, but in others you would need, and you have to remember how many that you can possibly have. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave us a subscribe and a like, and we would love to hear from you, so please leave us your comments, and thank you so much.